Hello.
Bang bang, motherfucker.
Yes, we're continuing our hunting tour of the world. This time we're
What's
going.
the?
What?
Sorry, go on. No, you go. Carry on. I interrupted. I shouldn't have.
No. Well, finish your thought.
I was going to ask you if you know what the main song from Bambi is.
No. This
Okay.
this time we're going somewhere a little more exotic.
Canada.
Where is it?
I don't know why I said Canada in a very bad Australian accent.
Spain.
Canberra. We're going to go to Canberra.
We're going to Rancho del Arroyo in
Arroyo.
Mexico.
I've got to be honest. That's quite loud for me. I'm going to have to turn you down a bit. Dream one. Oh, it was on
Well,
full.
I can whack me down to.
No, no, no. It's fine. I've dealt with it my end.
Okay. Well, yes, we're in Mexico. We're gonna hunt ourselves El Chupacabra.
Oh God. No, El
Um,
Cuba Libre.
I don't want the music. I want this thing. Because I don't know what that is. But you got the sound effects, so it shouldn't be too loud.
Okay.
So,
Bloody
let's
hell.
go a hunting.
I shouldn't be this tired.
Even am I?
You told us Mexico,
Yeah, but
or rather
we're,
Mexico.
we're about to Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah, the
Me.
wildlife park. Hombre. God, you're
Mm.
such a gringo. I was. I want to talk about something.
Go on then.
It's. Oh no, sorry. You had the thing you were talking about last video, but we stopped talking about.
Yes, I
So
was.
I will let you do that first.
Okay, if you really want me to.
Well, I've written my thing down, and I worry we might forget.
Well, all right. I mean, I won't forget.
You might. Go on.
Okay, so as I was saying last time, a few days ago,
Did you just
um,
burp?
no, it was a white-tailed deer.
Oh.
Now I finished my Black Death book,
Mm-hmm.
and I've selected my next one. Now, are you familiar with the case of Bobby Dunbar?
No.
It's a fascinating story. So in 1912, this kid called Bobby Dunbar, he was 4 years old and came from a sort of middle class family. He was at a barbecue, a big family barbecue, and they went walking through the bayou, and Bobby Dunbar disappeared at some point, and it was a huge
As you
big,
do.
yeah, it was a huge big deal. And you know, a few months later, they found this guy called William Cantwell Williams. He had this kid with him, and people thought, "Oh, that looks a bit suspicious." Apparently, he was being a bit rough with him, and
Mm.
he looked a little bit like Bobby Dunbar. Um, so they took him in, and they brought this kid to meet Bobby Dunbar's parents, and wouldn't you know it, they identified him. After there was a little bit of trepidation, but his mother gave him a bath, and said, "No, I'm certain now that is my son."
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna guess it isn't.
wait for it.
Okay.
Now this other woman called Julia Anderson comes into the picture and says, "No, that's not Bobby Dunbar. That's my son. That's Bruce Anderson. I left it to the I lent him to this crazy man because he was going to see a relative, and I thought it'll get the kid off my hands, and he will be able to see a bit of the world."
Makes sense.
Julia
I don't
Anderson.
agree. I don't like the idea, but it
Julia
makes
Anderson
sense.
had like 4 kids by 3 different men or something. She wasn't particularly wealthy. This family had a bit of money, and also it's a pretty,
Okay, so there's
you
a
know,
logic to it.
yes, it's a heartwarming story for a lot of people. It has a happy ending. This kid went missing and they got him back, and now this woman's trying to ruin everything. So they went to court because Julia Anderson sort of expressed some doubt at first. She was like, "I'm not entirely sure whether that's my kid," and the kid didn't seem to recognize her. It
Hmm.
was all this stuff. And it went to court, and the court found in favour of the Dunbars. And this Bobby Dunbar went back to live with the Dunbar family, and they spoiled him rotten. They got him a pony and all sorts, and all this stuff. But in the Anderson family, it was always thought of that he had been kidnapped. Um, Fast forward to like think the 90s.
Mm.
2004. And this sort of family mystery sort of reaches a point where one of the members says, "All right, fuck it, let's have a DNA test. I will prove that we are Dunbars." And lo and behold, they weren't.
Oh.
Yes. And it's such a sad story in so many ways. I can see how it panned out. Like the mum was. I mean, you know what kids are like at that age. They sort of they look different, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, if you leave them for a few months and they go through some stuff, they look a bit different when you get them back.
Well, I don't know that much, but
And
so I've never been away from my child for more than a few days at most. Week tops.
Yeah, and I can see the mother sort of buying into it, and everybody else sort of not really wanting to question it, but maybe having private doubts because it's just this is an easy out. But it's also really sad because poor, aside from the fact that that woman's son was basically kidnapped, poor Bobby Dunbar was replaced. This little 4-year-old, they just got another one. Essentially,
didn't even have to go to the shop.
Yeah, they just got another one, and Bobby Dunbar was probably eaten by an alligator.
Poor bastard.
But it's such a sad story, and I bought the book just because I think it's really interesting.
Well, I wouldn't think there's that much more to know now.
Well, yeah, I mean Bobby Dunbar, who was probably Bruce Anderson, when he was older, one of his sons asked him whether he really knew he was Bruce Anderson or Bobby Dunbar. And he said, "Look, I know who I am and I know who you are, and that's all that matters." Which sort of suggests to me that he was not particularly convinced himself, but was like, "It doesn't matter. I know the sort of person I know myself, and it doesn't matter what my name is."
That is the most appropriate, and that's the best response I think he could have come out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Where are all the animals?
Well, you didn't go for the one that made the noise earlier, so now they don't want you.
Well, yeah, I bought that book and I intend to read it. It's written by one of the members of the family.
Oh, yeah.
Who was like instrumental in pushing that DNA test through and investigating things and all sorts. So it should be interesting, and it gets here on Tuesday, so that'll be nice. Tuesday just gone, incidentally, for people watching this.
When the last video went out.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the election we're expecting this year.
Which one?
The UK general election.
Is this the news that Labour would need like a historic landslide to win?
Do you know why they'd need a historic landslide to win?
Mexican bobcat. Because
no,
they've changed up the rules, haven't they? The boundary lines.
They have done the. Oh Jesus, that's a fucking awful noise.
I hate that noise as well.
It's what they've done. Is they've taken a donation from the Tories' biggest donor, a Mr. Jerry Mander.
Yeah.
So gerrymandered to fucking. It's fucking absolutely ridiculous. It didn't need to be such a massive swing under the previous. Under the previous boundaries, but now it's suddenly it needs to be a historic swing, bigger than in '97, bigger than 45 or whatever it was.
Jesus,
it's got to be the biggest swing in history for Labour to have a strong, to have a majority, just to have a majority, not to have a big majority, to have a majority. And you can't tell me that the fact that it hasn't happened since 2010. You can't tell me that that's not intentional.
Of course, it's intentional.
It's
keeping hold of power by whatever means necessary.
What are they gonna do with it? We're only gonna fuck up more stuff. Ridiculous.
No way in hell did I hit that.
My area hasn't changed. I should think yours probably hasn't.
Do you know where the term gerrymandering comes from? I think I've said this before.
I'm sure I know it.
In America, it was literally a guy named Jerry did some gerrymandering, and it looked like a salamander. The resulting little district or whatever. Hence the term gerrymandering.
Fair enough.
It's a gerrymander.
I've got an interesting person I'd like to talk about as well, seeing as you mentioned
Bobby Dunbar.
Dunbar. I was going to say Bobby Dunbar, but I wasn't sure it was Bobby, and so I panicked. What are they doing in there? Oh, I have got more topics than I thought. No, we talked about that one, so I'll get rid of that picture. You don't want to see that picture.
Christ.
Sorry, I'm sorting some stuff out. Quick, because otherwise I'm going to get distracted. Right. Where's it gone? Ratio. Yes. Have you ever heard of Jeffrey Tandy?
No, maybe. It sort of rings a bell. Who is he?
He's a seaweed expert from the 1940s.
Well, I damn well should have heard of him then, shouldn't I?
No, because this is interesting. It's genuinely interesting.
To brush up my mid-20th century seaweed experts.
He is a cryptogamist. I can't even say it. Cryptogamist.
Yeah.
Can you guess what happened as to why he's so interesting?
Well, is it important that he's a cryptographist?
No, he's not a cryptographist. He's a cryptogamist.
What's a cryptogamist?
A seaweed expert.
Oh, right, okay. Why is
whereas if he was a cryptogramist with the extra R, he would be a code breaker.
Okay, so
there was a spelling mistake or someone misread what he was.
Yeah.
And hired him to work at Bletchley Park during the war.
Is this on an episode of QI? This seems very QI.
I saw it on the thing I saw is literally today I learned one typo led to the hire of a Jeffrey Tandy, a seaweed expert, cryptogamist, instead of a codebreaker, cryptogamist during World War II. But the help of the seaweed expert accelerated the end of the war by 2 to 4 years, saving millions of lives in the process.
Almost sounds like it was intentional.
Well, it definitely wasn't intentional. I'd saved the thing so I could watch it later, so I could go back to it. So would you like to know why it worked? Would you like to take a guess before?
Is seaweed important in this?
Yes. It happens that his specialist subject actually mattered.
Was it?
For one very specific moment.
Is it something that seaweed gives off?
No.
Bollocks, I don't think I hit it. God fucking damn it, I want this thing. Dunno. Did he make lovely food?
Nope. I'll tell you.
Yeah, but yeah, I got the fucker.
Nice. So it became apparent to him at some point that it was obvious they'd mistakenly hired him, right?
At what point does that become obvious, do you think? When they show him, oh look, fucking hell, that really did fuck it up.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Not a bad shot.
If you heard that, that was almost certainly a pheasant that just flew over my head.
So he did nothing for 2 years, effectively, before.
What a great job!
Couldn't do anything helpful for 2 years. But then, in 1941, Allied forces torpedoed German U-boats and salvaged some important documents from the wreckages, including papers that instructed users of the German Enigma machine as to how to unscramble messages. The problem: the papers were waterlogged, damaged, and in dire need of quick restoration before they could be put to use.
The seaweed.
The ministry needed someone who was an expert in drying out water-damaged fragile materials, someone who may have had training in preserving algae in such a manner. They needed someone like Tandy. So he managed.
And he finally had to do some fucking work.
It's a fucking good job he turned up that day, isn't it?
All he was doing was sitting in the break room drinking coffee, and
one day, Tandy, one day.
You know, sort of making awkward conversation with all the bigwigs. What was
But
that
no,
first day? At what point did he realise you're out of your depth here, Tandy?
oh fuck knows, fuck knows.
And they showed
But
him the
he,
machine and was like, "This is what you'll be working with. You can recognise all the components, no doubt." And he
naturally,
was like,
naturally.
"Where's the seaweed? I was told there would be seaweed."
So yeah,
Did he
that's,
not have
I
to
just,
go to war? Like, if he, I mean, did he get an exemption? Summit? Was he an older man?
I don't
Because
know.
I don't
But
think like
one
seaweed
would expect
experts are.
because the trouble is, I think once he'd been made aware of the Bletchley Park situation and what they were doing,
They sort of
and how
couldn't
it was
really risk him.
yeah.
Yes.
So I suppose you've got to kind of keep him on board and hope he's helpful at some
I
point.
bet
And
Tan-
clearly,
yeah.
it took 2 years, but actually, you know,
Maybe he
that's,
pretended he knew what he was doing.
it's always possible. That's what we do with these videos, isn't it?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
That's what those pheasants are doing without fucking hill. Jesus, that's awful.
It took me 5 shots to kill 3 of them.
Yeah, well,
I did the
I
German
just
map.
think you could have done that in 2 if you were good.
Probably. I did the German map, right? And there's a bridge in it. And I was tracking something. And I came up to this bridge, and there was like this. I think it was like a European bison and a shit ton of deer. And it was the weirdest glitch. They were like, they had twisted diagonally, so they were facing down and sort of still running and just sort of gradually scooting along.
Brilliant.
Didn't manage to hit a single one. I actually no, I think that's a lie. I think I did put a couple in the bison.
Couple of fingers. In its gaping hole.
Yes.
It needs to call out another electrician itself. But no, yeah, Mr. Tandy. What a wonderful little story about.
Things
I mean,
sometimes help, don't
I
they?
suppose it's very possible that it's propaganda. That someone's come
Who's
up
that
with
bet?
things.
Well, I suppose I don't know. Maybe it's to hide some secret waterlog remover, dryer out contraption that we invented during the war, and we still don't want people to know about.
Like the carrot thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carrots help you see in the dark. That's why our pilots are so good. It's definitely not radar.
Yeah, we definitely didn't invent radar.
No.
And of course, they invented the radar detector, didn't they? So we invented the radar detector.
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that. It's fucking ridiculous. Well, I found out after the fact that the town that I live in hosted an international cat show
Really?
over the weekend.
Oh, I
250
thought you meant like
cats.
historically.
No, over last weekend. So 2 weekends ago for you viewer. This town hosted a 250 cats for an international cat show. So apparently, it's the 3rd time that they've done that. I found out literally after it had finished.
I found out right now.
Today I learned. You know the big shopping centre area near where I live.
Yeah, the place where they do elections and stuff. Yeah, I know there's like an events hall thing.
Like the counting thing.
Yeah, I've been there a number of times. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, I have on occasion, including the night that I had my election results counted.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a long disappointing night,
Well,
but probably for the best.
maybe.
But yeah, they had it there, and it included a cat agility course and a breeders area.
Oh God.
I know.
If you ran as an independent, I would vote for you.
Really? Would you really?
Yeah, I genuinely would. You're not experienced in the slightest, but I think
You in this area don't get a vote.
no, it means jack fucking shit. What I would do.
You'd have to move unless I ran somewhere that I don't know, which would be ridiculous. Did you get that? Oh.
Ah,
You missed. He's done you. Catch him, Derry. Catch him.
you
You
little
got him that time.
bastard. You
I wouldn't
little
shoot him again.
bastard.
Poor Jessica. Actually, I had a game I wanted to play with you.
Okay.
Yes, I need to open up Google so I can get this game. when it decides Google's going to work.
Oop.
Might have to use my phone.
I did have another. I'm sure I had another topic.
You said you had 4, but I don't know.
I think we'll see. Bear with, caller. Please look at this series of stones.
We both search for our respective topics.
No, I've done them.
Have you?
Bobby Dunbar, Sharon Gate, Black Death. That's what I wrote down.
Okay, fair enough. I've written one more, and then why can't I find a bloody?
Although somebody,
list?
I talked about my Sharon Gate vid last time, but somebody shared it to Reddit independently, and recommended it. A couple of things stood out to me about it.
What's that?
One was the fact that they mentioned that it was a good trip down memory lane, which sort of adds to my theory that a lot of people watch it for nostalgia purposes rather than content. They were very nice about the content. The other thing was somebody mentioned that they hadn't watched the other ones because they didn't really know anything about other soaps, which sort of worried me a bit. That people were sort of sticking to their own. It's not particularly what I wanted. But hey ho.
This game I want to play,
Yeah.
I'm going to list. It's a connections round basically.
Right.
Yeah, it's a connections round. So
Okay.
I want to know if you can get the connections.
Okay.
Okay, so a squash and a squeeze, books and crooks, monkey puzzle.
Are they all things political correctness have ruined?
No.
You can't even squash and squeeze a woman anymore. A woman in the street, you can't even give her a squash and a squeeze anymore, bloody feminist.
Ooh.
No, squash and squeeze, a book and a cook.
Books and crooks.
Well,
and a monkey puzzle.
Are these all books? They're all titles, are they?
They are all titles, yes. I need more specific ban bats.
We're in rabbit country, it seems.
Duck. He's in behind the tree. He's done you in, hasn't he?
Come on, you little bastard. Oh, fuck you.
He's mugged you right off.
The bunny run. One. Now I know how Elmer Fudd felt. Except I quit early on, so I didn't end up dying.
Would you like some more?
Yes.
More titles. Okay, so you have Hide and Seek Pig, Postman Bear, Fox's Socks, and Rabbit's Nap.
These are all children's books, are they?
So far, I don't know if the entire list is, but
okay.
I would expect they probably are.
Are they? Fucking hell! Are they? The fact that they're all children. Well, is it related to children?
Not specifically, no.
Are they all banned books or something?
No, they're not.
The fact you laugh sort of suggests that they're.
It would be funny to me if they'd been banned, given the popularity of them.
Are they like the best-selling books in China or something?
Nope.
More, please.
Okay. The Smartest Giant in Town, Night Monkey, Day Monkey, The Snail and the Whale, The Dinosaur's Diary.
Have they all been adapted somehow, or?
No.
So far, they are all children's books.
Yes, I suspect they are all will be, but I don't know for sure that they are.
So, is the fact that they're children's books significant?
No.
Is the fact that they're
not in itself.
Is the fact that they're books significant?
No, because I think actually one of them, Books and Crooks, was a play.
Are they all fake? Are they all things from books from like TV shows featured?
Nope.
The
connection is the who behind these things. Okay? These are the clue that I'm giving you is that they are all by the same person. So I want to see if you can get the person.
Is it by a famous person you wouldn't expect to write children's books?
No.
By a famous person you would expect to write children's books.
Well, I mean, this person is famous for having written books, so yes, I suppose
The
it's absolutely by
Julia
someone.
Donaldson.
They are all Julia Donaldson stories. Yes.
Right.
I deliberately avoided the Gruffalo and Room on the Broom because I think Room on the Broom was the one that we did over Christmas,
Yeah.
and obviously the Gruffalo is the famous
I
one.
don't think it was this Christmas, but I do recall a
I
Christmas
thought it
set
was.
being. Oh, fuck off! I don't
I,
want to take a photo.
I had it in my head. It was Room on the Broom, but oh no, it was 2013. Whoops.
But I do remember that.
What was the one that we did
It
this
was
year?
Mog's Day Out.
I don't know.
Mog explains it all. I don't know. Room with a Mog. I don't know.
Either way, there's a lot of them, and
Mm.
I deliberately avoided the most famous one. She did there was an article I saw this week where she's written like 200 odd fucking things.
Mm.
And the list didn't include 200 of them, but she was talking about how the Gruffalo gets too much attention compared to the other stuff. Like she prefers it when people mention her other stuff.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? It's like an actor who's been in one thing that's really big, but would much rather talk about their theatre work. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So.
Yes, I was great in that one episode of Star Trek, but I also played Othello and was very well regarded.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there was a performance of Othello where Sean Bean played the titular character. Oh. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was under the impression that the whole point of Othello was that Othello was black.
Well, there's a rather awkward history of in British theatre of people blacking up to play Othello and thinking it's fine because it's it's Shakespeare, therefore it doesn't count. I've got a biography of Laurence Olivier, and one of the pictures is him in blackface playing Othello.
Oh, great!
Is it Othello or Iago?
I thought it was Othello was black.
Maybe it's Iago. I think it might be Iago.
So I remember there being didn't Pete what's his name?
Peter O'Toole.
No. I can't think of his name. He played Captain Picard.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, that's it. I heard a while back that he played Othello, but the rest of the cast were black. So it was
That's a fine subversion.
Yeah,
I think look,
it works in that sense. I could live with that.
I mean, I think you should absolutely play about with Shakespeare. I think it's kind of boring just to do the same play over and over again. I mean, you don't change the content, obviously, but you can change a lot about it. I've often said that Romeo and Juliet works just as well if Romeo and Juliet are elderly people. You could adapt that to the modern age and stick them in a nursing home because the sort of thoughtless, reckless, immature, naive romance of those characters sort of works well for two older people in their sort of second juice.
Romeo and Juliet meets The Notebook.
I've never seen The Notebook.
I've not seen much of The Notebook. I've seen the end of The Notebook. But I think from what I understand, the premise is that this bloke is telling this woman a story. And it turns out to be the story of how the two of them fell in love because they are an old married couple.
Oh, and she's got Alzheimer's, is it?
And she works it out by the end of the story, and then it kicks in a bit, and she doesn't have a fucking clue who he is, and it's heartbreaking for him because this obviously keeps happening. And then they both end up dying, like naturally.
Right.
Oh, again, I've only really caught the end of it, like the last 5-10 minutes.
See, I was making my Sharon video. I make heavy reference, as you know, because you read the script, to Tristan and Isolde.
Did I read the script?
Yeah. Oh, fuck you. I asked you to read it. You said it. You said it was fine.
I read it. If you asked me to read it, I read it, but it would have been a while ago.
Yeah, it was a little while.
Was it before Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if it wasn't for the apparently salacious nature of not salacious, if the apparently inappropriate nature of some of the stuff I've said recently, I wouldn't even know what I'd read and said last week. So,
Well, yeah, I make heavy reference to that, and that's a tragic love story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad. And,
Well.
there's no wish. Fuck. What was?
Oh, it sounds like someone not having a good time of it, but having too much of a good time of it.
It's a cougar.
Oh, I bet it is. Point me in the right direction.
Well, I didn't see the noise tracking
No,
thing,
I didn't either.
but it's somewhere. Oh, it's a bobcat. There he goes.
There was a robbery in an antique shop in a town not too far from where I live. The
Right.
one that sounds like it should be by the sea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know. Oh, but the police have released an image of the culprits.
Anyone we
who-
know?
No. The key thing is we wouldn't know because they're you can't see any of their skin. All you can see is I'm gonna. Have you got Discord available for you to see it?
I can get it on my phone.
Yeah, I put it up on your phone. This is the picture that they have shared.
Hang on.
Say?
Hang on. Right.
So,
Not. I mean.
that picture has been criticised for being worthless.
Well, you say that, but you might recognise a bit of the nose or
You
just
can't
sort of the
see
body
the nose.
shape. You know, I mean, it's something. You got to put it out there. You can't.
The best bet they've got is that you might be able to recognise the coat and trainers. As far as I'm concerned, but it's the most useful part about really quite bad picture.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What I want to know is whose drink is that? Oh, no, it's a candle. Never mind. It looked like a drink on the next head height, but no, it looks like a candle now. But yeah, they've been mocked for sharing that picture.
Well, what are you going to do? You've got this thing. You might as well put it out there. Who knows?
God, you sound just like the people who suggest I should go dating.
I don't think I could do dating, like proper, like meet someone online and arrange to have a dinner.
I'd have to get in shape again.
It's just like a job interview, but for happiness. That's how I think of dating like that. I would try to just like stumble into somebody.
Here's a thing. Oh God, sorry, I'm just rearranging my seating because I sat back a bit for the Julia Donaldson drink. But I can probably come across as quite a miserable person, right?
No.
Oh, sarcasm, you fucking wanker. Today, someone,
that thing. That is
one
a
of
thing.
my colleagues, just before I left, they were like, we were talking about something and it being a pain in the ass to deal with. And they were like, well, you need to have a more positive mental attitude about these things because if you come into it thinking, oh, it's going to be fine, but it's probably going to be fine. But the context is that it's a payroll query.
Yeah.
And there are two situations where a payroll query could exist. One, someone has been paid incorrectly, and thus there is a problem that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Two, that person is an idiot who has misread their payslip. They are the two circumstances that we get happen. There is no third circumstance. Right?
Yeah.
And so there is no good outcome there. There is a better outcome for one where we don't have to do anything, but we still have to tell them that they're wrong and why what they've been paid was right. And more often than not, they argue.
Well, I mean, money does things to people, doesn't it?
Well, but anyway, so they were like, you gotta be more positive about these things. And I said to them, and I said this loud enough for other people who were getting ready to leave to hear it, but not in a shouty voice. I'll start being positive when people give me reasons to be positive.
You're such a grouch.
No, I need a reason to be positive.
Oh, hello. I did hit it.
Like, for example,
Look at that.
I don't. Yeah, you did. I don't have my child at home tomorrow night.
Why not? Where is he?
He's having a sleepover at his nan's house, which means that
That's
if
fun.
as you know, I've got a meeting tomorrow, which might not be a particularly fun meeting.
Uh,
So if I want to go out and have a drink tomorrow night, I can.
yeah.
You know, my partner will be hanging out as well. We'll be able to both go and have a drink together.
Well, that'll help.
You know, apparently she's got some provocative clothing that's turned up, so
okay.
that'll be something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, you can try that on.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So you know, there are positive things in my life that I look forward to and I am happy about. But if people start giving me these things, like this is all stuff that because I've been made aware of it, I can be positive about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when people are just giving me shit to deal with and telling me shit, talking about how shit things are. What else am I gonna think? You know. She was like, "Oh, if you get up and you act like you're not tired, you won't be tired."
Fuck off!
It's like I'm gonna be tired.
Hate that mindset.
I woke up at Tuesday night. I went to bed at 2 in the morning because I was finishing the season of Stranger Things that I was on, and I'd gotten caught up watching the season. I made the mistake of thinking there was only 8 episodes, and there weren't. There were 9 episodes, and the last one was an hour long. So I was like, oh, I could stay up till 1. That'd be fine. But you don't then want to leave the last episode, do you? You kind of want to get the last episode.
It is tempting, yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up staying up till 2. And then it took me half an hour to get back to sleep. To get to sleep, sorry. So, you know.
Oh, fuck.
You got to lead the target, then.
Oh, fuck it, I know where it is.
So, you know, because I'm on season 3 now. I'm most of the way through season 3. Season 3 is a good one. Season 2 is a good one. Season 2's got a really... You've not seen it, have you?
I've not seen any of Stranger Things, and I don't really intend to.
Season 2 has got Sean Astin in it, and he is magnificent. And he dies in season 2 as well. Spoiler alert.
Wah.
But it's such a heartbreaking moment. And I remember the first time I saw it, I'm fairly sure I probably cried. But it would have been a few years back, and I was a lot more emotionally unstable back then in terms of tearing up about stuff. I used to cry about How to Train Your Dragon back then. That used to make me cry.
You know what? You know what strange thing always makes me cry, or get at least a little bit teary-eyed.
Return of the King.
No.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the song "The Battle Hymn of the Republic"?
Probably, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
You know, mine eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the Lord. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Yeah. It's an old Union Civil War battle song.
Which one's for Union? They're the North, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay, good. For good guys.
Yes. And
just double check it. Of course I do.
Yes, there is a verse in it that goes, "In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, as God is marching on." And that never, ever fails to make me get a little bit emotional. I just think it's such a beautiful verse. You know, I mean,
it can be awkward, can't it? Sometimes when you just get caught off guard by something that.
Yes, I mean, it just always happens to me, and I'm under no illusion that the Civil War was like in its own time fully about the abolition of slavery. Like there were pragmatic political reasons for preventing this massive, powerful country from splintering. You know, I under no illusion, I don't think every Union soldier was like die-hard committed to abolishing slavery.
Yeah,
I don't think they were all, you know, lovely woke people. They weren't.
No, God no, not bad.
But I, you know, it's a rather enjoyable myth that it was, and certainly that was one of the good things that it well, the most important thing that it accomplished. And it's easy to mythologize that, but it never fails to make me get a little bit emotional ever.
I certainly became a lot more emotional after becoming a dad.
Oh yeah, that.
And things have...
That really just ruined a lot for you, didn't it?
Hey, don't say it like that.
Like your emotional Now, I mean, there's probably other stuff.
I mean, I was in a depressive rut a couple of months before he was born. And then he was born, and I got out of it.
Well, there you go. He's basically saved your life, and I'm sure he's a charming
No,
little fellow.
I wasn't going to kill myself, Ben. We've been over this. There's no sensible way for me to do it. I'm not a danger to myself.
Hmm.
Everyone else, who knows? But I'm not a danger to myself. I don't like blood. Like, I'm not averse to it, but I don't like it.
No,
So I'm not likely to cut myself because that's just gonna be weird. Can't swallow tablets.
you certainly can't
Don't
hang
know where to get
yourself.
one. No, I'd
God,
end
that'd
up
be
jerking off.
I know, you just get distracted, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
tied your hands behind your back, that'd just make it worse.
It would. I'd be like, oh, what can I hump? Plastic bag over my head. Oh, don't get me started.
Oh.
Have you seen the price of petrol? I haven't even got a garage to
Well,
fill it with carbon monoxide.
when I was planning on taking my life, my plan was, I think I've talked about this before, an exit bag, which is, I think it's basically like helium or something, or nitrogen, and apparently it's like a feeling of like lightheaded bliss. And I thought I deserved that, quite frankly, but it looked a bit complicated, so I was a bit like, how the fuck am I going to put this thing together? You know, I've got to buy heat, I've got to buy like nitrogen or hydrogen or whatever canisters.
At this point, it's too much work to justify doing it, right?
Well, if the job's worth doing, it's worth doing well.
I have occasionally had the urge to just drive into a river, but I quite like having a car, and I'm not that good at swimming. So I suppose that would be how I end up doing it.
I think
But
that would probably just be
panic.
embarrassing for you, wouldn't it? Because I don't think the river where near you is particularly deep.
It's deep enough.
I mean, I think you'd drown. I think it would just be embarrassing. Yeah, I think your head would still be above water. I mean, it depends how you landed, obviously. But if you just went
Well, of
straight
course.
in, I'm pretty sure your head would probably be. You just sort of be sitting there.
If my actions end up killing me, it's most likely going to be an accident,
Mm.
right? And that's that's not hasn't ruled out suffocating.
Well,
You know,
oh
anything
God.
can happen, right? But
What do you want me to tell your son if that happens? What's the game plan for that?
What if I die by
In some horrific
autoerotic asphyxiation?
bondage catastrophe, yeah.
Well, I mean, if that happens, I don't know. But realistically, I mean, in that sort of circumstance, because that tends to happen to people who are presumably by themselves,
Hmm.
he's one of the most likely people to end up finding them,
Well, yeah, that was my thought.
which is scarring enough.
Jesus wept. I can't. That poor kid. Hasn't he
I
been
know,
through
right?
enough? Fucking hell.
What? We're not going to deliberately subject him to a terrible situation, Ben.
Doesn't he-
It's not likely to happen because I don't practice that kind of
Do
activity
you want to
by
make some
myself.
sort of serial killer? Because that is how you do it.
I'm not going to practice that sort of behaviour by myself, and if I did, it wouldn't be whilst he was around.
No, of course not.
You know,
I mean, full disclosure, if he does turn into a serial killer, I will be writing a book.
if he turns into a serial killer, I'll be severely disappointed when he gets caught.
This is little cotton socks.
He doesn't wear cotton socks. Anyway, they might have cotton in them. I don't fucking know anymore. No, it's all.
Mexico. If you walk into cactuses, they do damage.
Oh, that's cool. Just like Minecraft.
50 times I tested that. And 50
Intentionally.
times my hypothesis was proved correct. Well, I ran into it once. And I thought, oh, did that hurt me? I better do it again. So I did. It was like, oh, I think that did hurt me. And then I did it again. And a couple of more times just for luck.
Oh, okay.
Going back to your relentlessly positive co-worker, I'm
Not necessarily relentlessly
well,
positive,
sort
but
of overbear. Well, you know what I mean.
yeah.
I'm sort of glad that the people I work with, if they, I mean, they would never say anything like that.
I understand the need for a bit of positivity, but I'm not going to fake the fucking thing.
No, I mean, I cannot fake sincerity or I can't do insincerity. Yeah, I can't do insincerity. I cannot do it. It's one of my
No.
many flaws.
No.
I am appalling at it. If I wear my emotions on my sleeve. If I'm pissed off, I look pissed off. If I'm happy, I look happy.
Oh,
If I'm
yeah.
stressed,
Because
I
we
look
don't have to
stressed.
communicate how we feel without using words, Ben.
Well, I'm just not good at it, and I can't laugh at jokes I don't find funny. You know, I don't have a fake laugh, which has led some people to suggest that I don't have a sense of humour. Be
Well,
honest, do you think I have a sense of humour?
yeah, I don't necessarily. I think it aligns with mine or a
Yes.
lot of other people's, but
I
you have got one.
I have made comments that you recognise as jokes, as
Yeah,
intentional jokes. Yes, and I have
yes.
laughed at things. Yeah, I have a sense of humour. It's just, you know, different from a lot of people's. Maybe too different. There was an awkward incident at work yesterday.
Mm.
um, Somebody from a different department came over, and they were talking about fantasy books with me and two other people. And she was talking about this fantasy book where it's set in a world where like there's a caste system based on eye color, and the people with blue eyes rule over everybody.
Okay.
Now I have blue eyes, and at that point I said yes, as it should be.
Hmm.
And everybody sort of looked at me. I don't know, not quizzically, just sort of a bit
Concerned
stunned
for you.
and taken aback. And then one of them said, "All right, Hitler." It was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? I mean, I know,
It's because it's
I
blue eyes.
well, yeah, I know the reference, but it's just like, and it did sort of throw me off because it was like, I mean, it wasn't a good joke, but it was like a, "Oh Ben, what do you like?" That sort of thing.
Hmm.
You know, I didn't expect people to piss themselves laughing.
But you expected it to be recognised as humour.
Yes, oh yes, I see what he's doing there. He has blue eyes.
Do they understand that you've got blue
Well,
eyes?
everybody was. That's what I wondered because everybody was looking at me. They thought, "Oh, okay, they're checking to see what color eyes I've got," but nobody commented on it.
Hmm.
Oh, I haven't killed one of those before. Yeah, it's just like, huh. I feel like I've overstepped a mark here, but I'm not entirely sure why exactly. You know, it'd be one thing if it was like she'd mentioned that it was a caste system based on like race or something, and I'd made
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
a poor and ill-advised attempt at some sort of dark joke, you know. But it wasn't that at all. It was like eye color, and like I don't think you could believe somebody was actually being serious about that because that is a ridiculous
It's absolutely ridiculous.
proposition.
Yeah.
You know, it was clearly identifiable as a joke.
Mm,
I think it's probably way too far away, isn't it?
probably.
How far away? Oh, actually, I might be
Not
alright.
that far.
It's within range. This thing goes to 150, so
I think you might have missed it.
I think it's very possible it did.
I think you were a bit too shaky and a bit too low that first shot, and
Yeah.
obviously it moved by the second.
Yeah.
I make the odd risque joke, but they're always quite well received when I do. So
Yeah, I mean,
nothing recently either.
I like, I, I sort of found myself doing sort of self-deprecating. Well, I like self-deprecating humor because I think it's fun, you know.
Oh, it's a done thing, isn't it?
Yes, and I enjoy poking fun at myself because there is a lot to poke fun at.
Humor works best if there is some sort of perceived victim,
Yeah,
and if you are the victim, you are in control of that.
yes. Um,
That's how I think of it.
mm,
I I do self-deprecating humor
yeah,
a lot. There was I think the closest thing to a risque joke that I've done recently is one of our colleagues, as part of their Christmas activities and fun, is they've hidden a load of rubber ducks around their parents' house.
right,
And as part of trying to find places to hide them, they went into into a bedroom drawer,
right.
and then immediately regretted opening that bedroom drawer.
Oh Christ. Oh God.
They
It's like that
they
time I
report
found I went into my it was after my parents separated and my father had a new partner, and I went into his room and I found a bottle of baby oil and a copy of 50 Shades of Grey.
okay.
And that's
I
like
never finished the
generic
series there.
textbook weird awkward sex stuff. Anyway, please continue.
So anyway, they apparently there were two drawers of this stuff, And it didn't. Their stance was that very much they'd have preferred that there had been something on the top of the drawers, so that anyone who went in there wouldn't necessarily see the stuff, like a towel or something, right?
Yeah.
So someone told her not to look in the airing cupboard because obviously there's towels in the airing cupboard, right?
Oh right. Yeah.
The key question that I asked was why she opened the second drawer. Because if you've opened one drawer and you found that sort of thing, you would be wary of opening any more drawers.
Well, you might think, oh, that's where they keep that stuff. Not.
Well, the trouble is, Ben, if you were to open the drawer here,
yeah,
there's actually 3 drawers that have got stuff in, plus a locked toolbox.
God, that toolbox. What are you, some sort of fucking sex
2 locked
killer?
toolboxes. Two toolboxes.
You got rope and duct tape in there, Jesus.
No duct tape.
Fucking Lawrence Bittaker.
No duct tape. Duct tape's no good.
Okay.
The adhesive it can be sensitive on your skin.
You can probably get specialist stuff like that, can't you?
You can absolutely get specialist stuff. You don't want duct tape. If you're using duct tape, either you don't mind it being a bit rough, or you don't care.
Yeah.
Like you're not in it for the enjoyable aspect of it. You're in it for I'm taking control of a situation thing.
Or you're a sex criminal or something.
Or a sex criminal, yes.
Yeah.
In which case you probably don't care about the fact that it's going to be a bit painful.
Yeah, it's just a practical.
You can get special tape that only adheres to itself, which is perfect for it, because like it's not gonna get stuck in your hair or whatever. Like,
so you just sort of wrap it round and stick it to itself, like a
and then you can unwrap it.
Yeah, like
that's how it works.
Like tying. You're essentially tying it at that point, aren't you? But you're just sticking the 2 ends. What the fuck?
I mean, effectively, but it's like a wraparound rather than a.
Yeah.
But no, there's all sorts in my drawers.
You know what I got in my drawers?
What's that? Socks.
No, I don't keep my socks in a drawer. They're in a space at the top of my wardrobe. I just sort of bung them in there with my pants.
Okay.
I ain't got any of that stuff in my drawers.
Not even a fleshlight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Where's this kitty cat?
Well, what have you got in your drawers?
It's mostly just wires.
I had a tidy up recently because my bedside drawers were getting a bit full.
Did you donate some of your stuff to Sue Ryder?
No, it's why I ended up having the 3rd drawer involved. So there's some stuff that go together that I've put in.
Is it full
in a separate drawer,
or is it covered?
Is what full or is what?
Your drawer, is it like a layer of
my bedside
clothing? And,
the drawers that are the 2 drawers, they are a single unit and they are next to my bed. They are dedicated to those specific items.
Dedicated.
And right, I don't put anything else in there, and it is the furthest from the bedroom door.
Okay.
So like, if you the second furthest from the bedroom door. If you've gone into that drawer, either you've been told to go into that drawer, or you're looking somewhere you shouldn't be. Right.
Or you're an 8-year-old who's just sort of pissing about.
Well, no, because if he's at home, either I'm with him or I'm in here, right? In which case, he's got to get past me to get to it. And if he's doing that, what the fuck is he doing? He's looking somewhere he shouldn't be.
He's a crafty bugger. That's what he is.
Even my partner wouldn't look in there. Like, she'd be welcome to, but she wouldn't look in there because there'd be no need for it to.
Because you've, displayed them, I guess.
No,
it's like the generation game conveyor belt.
A glass dildo.
Oh, Christ.
17 butt plugs. A flogger.
A car battery.
A 120 pack of condoms. Lubricants.
A picture of Anne Widdecombe to make you last longer.
Soulstone, the comic series.
What?
Yeah, that's what it was. No, it's actually it's funny. I want to double check the name of it properly. Sunstone, that's it. It's an adult webcomic series, and it's basically a kinky lesbian relationship story.
Right.
and it's quite well demonstrated. Like, it's not overly sexual. There is sex in it and sexual imagery in it, but the majority of it is just a love story, right?
That's nice.
And it's a graphic novel, and there's 2 volumes to it, and I've got both.
Ah,
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
It did sound like a sneeze, didn't it?
Yes.
Yes. No, I think it's important to be, sexually liberated.
Yes, it is.
Find out what you like and buy the gear you need for it if you can afford it.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff. It's really depressing. Do you remember recently there was a thing about was it the Somerset Gimp?
Yes.
And he was a bloke who was wearing black and he'd had
It's
spray
a
painted
creepy.
thing on his head.
He was a gimp guy, and he just sort of startled people. He got off on it.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently he wanted to kill himself, so that's why he was standing in the dark on a road wearing dark clothes so that someone would hit him. But his defense, or part of his defense, was that he's not a gimp. He's never owned a gimp outfit, and blah 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 blah. And the thing is, the clothes he was wearing, it's not a gimp outfit. So technically, he's telling the truth.
Not a gimp
Like, he was
outfit.
just no, it was just wearing. It looked like it was a balaclava was the head thing. And you've seen Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
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 That is a very different outfit to what the character known as the Gimp in that is wearing. That is a Gimp outfit, but the bloke was just wearing black and a balaclava. That's not the same fucking thing. What this is a sign of people. They've jumped to a conclusion and it's stuck, and the poor fella's been associated, been being reported on as a Gimp now.
Well, in
despite the fact
actuality,
he's
it seems like he was just
a troubled man who wanted to kill himself.
right.
You know.
I don't know. That seems like a pretty. I don't know. I don't know whether I buy that. But speaking of criminals, speaking of weird sex perverts,
What have I done now?
you recall
Weird
some
sex pervert, not the criminal thing. Just to be clear.
You recall some time ago, well, I think we were playing Blazing Emerald, and we had that true crime.
Who's we?
Well, I was, and you were watching. Don't fucking get pedantic with me. We were doing Blazing Emerald, and we had that true crime thing, and I mentioned the Long Island serial killer.
Yes, you did. I vaguely remember that.
He was, yes, I mentioned he was caught, and they had the DNA and everything. Well, they've charged him. I think he's in court, and they charged him. He's now been charged with 4.
Oh.
Now they've said they don't suspect him in connection with the other deaths, which is interesting to me, because it sort of seems to me like, the bodies were dumped there on that stretch of beach. They were found vaguely in the same place. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that there were coincidentally more than one serial killer using the same dumping ground, but it's not massively likely.
No, I wouldn't say so.
It's more likely that one guy's using the same place for like a decade or more.
If you get away with it for so long, you would, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You stick with what works, and that's what fucks you. It's like last podcast on the left is particularly fond of breaking out a Ted Bundy quote, which is on the first. It's something like on the first. It's like changing a car on the first, or changing a tire on a car. The first time you've got everything planned and you know what you're doing. And by the 10th time, you've lost the wrench.
Yeah.
You get complacent with this shit. But one of the things that really struck out to me, because I kind of forgot that he'd been captured.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting, because I followed this case for a while. I'm kind of fascinated by it. Comparatively speaking, very few people give a shit. I mean, that and the generally speaking lack of furore around Lucy Letby. It's just another reminder that serial killers are old hat now. Unless you have someone really sort of out there, someone who's really pushed the boundaries or has.
Somerset Gimp.
Well, you've got someone who's.
I am listening.
Because if you had like another, I fucked that up. Another Yorkshire Ripper type scenario where people are being murdered, and we know there's a serial killer, and we're looking for them, type thing. An active investigation. Do you remember the Suffolk Strangler?
No.
Because that was like 2006.
No, I don't remember that. But
Oh,
my interest in the news and current affairs didn't really pick up until about 2010. Is that tapir?
No, it's a Mexican pig.
Oh. One of them tried to kill you.
There's one dead.
I nearly saw a car accident yesterday.
That's funny you should mention car accidents, because there was one outside my place of work. Oh. Oh no, I've done it again.
All right, Brittany. No, there's the Twin Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was at one of the traffic lights there, waiting to go. Our light turned green. Other cars were waiting. The car in front of me, the van in front of me, started to go, and some bastard screamed right in front of them, going perpendicular to them. If it had been just a few seconds longer, the van would have been hit right in the side, and it could have been a horrible, horrible accident that could have possibly got me the day off work. You know, but no, managed to avoid it. I was talking to the boy about it last night. I was like, "Oh, I was here earlier, and someone nearly crashed into someone. Like dangerous fucking driving, not accidentally went the wrong way, misjudged the situation. It's a fucking deliberate situation because the speed they were going, the fact that they were in
Look at
the
that.
wrong way. Oh, nice shot! I didn't think you'd get that.
Well, I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't think I hit it. I just stumbled upon it. Oh my fucking Christ! What is wrong with me?
You are always shooting them in the ass.
Just can't help
Up above, no babies, right? Jamie, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Who's Jamie?
Jamie is one of the lads, and one of his catchphrases is "up above, no babies."
One of his catchphrases fills me with contempt. That phrase. One of his catchphrases. Oh. Sorry, I just.
No, it's less a catchphrase, but one of the things he makes a point of saying is "up above, no babies."
Right, you and your lads.
Well, it's funny because two of the lads bumped into one of my colleagues on a night out over the weekend.
All right.
So they sent a picture of him to the group chat and tagged me, and one of the people who wasn't there was like, "Is this bullying?" And there was this whole thing about how he's. I mean, it's people when people know you, and then when different people know you from different reasons, and they suddenly meet, it could go one of two ways, can't it?
Yeah.
And you kind of hope it goes the right way, but you expect it to go the wrong way.
What's the right way? They get on.
Well, they either speak positively or not at all about you.
All right, they don't like bitch you out.
You know, either it's just one of those things that happens, or they talk about you and it's positive.
See, Yep, still hurts. Yeah,
Why did that make you orgasm?
It made me hurt. That pig fucked me up a little.
It did. Up above no.
I've always liked when two people from different spheres of my life meet. It's weird. It's like a fucking crossover event.
I'm not a fan of it generally. But...
It's like, I wonder how would, for example, you interact with my boss at work. You know.
Well, probably.
My old uni friend and the chap who delivers my Chinese food every week. You can tell my social circle isn't particularly wide.
Well, there was something about, obviously one of my old colleagues now works with you.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy coincidence.
That was a sort of, oh great, what is this going to be bad for me in some way? Sort of feeling.
Yeah.
Leading up to that, right? Because I know for a fact that I've bitched to both of you about the other one at some point.
He never mentioned it, God bless her. She kept her fucking mouth shut. She didn't say a thing.
Oh, that's fair enough. No, to be fair, it was most likely he's turned up later than we'd expected again. And as such, it was midnight before we finished.
Oh, right.
So shit like that, because that happens quite regularly, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Yes, it's fair.
You were doing so well for a period of time, and
I did all right tonight.
you did do all right tonight, and
if it's any consolation, I won't be able to justify the expense of Chinese, so I will be getting meal deals on a Thursday.
Okay. When you say meal deals, what do you mean?
Sainsbury's meal deals.
So like you grab a box that's got all the Chinese.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Well, no, I'll get sandwiches. Like a
those,
lunch
those
meal deal. A couple of those, two or maybe.
Well, that's the thing, because obviously if you can get the meal, you can get like the Chinese or the Indian meal deals, can't you?
Yeah, you still have to cook them, but yeah. But if I get the meal deals, I can be ready.
Or you can go to a Chinese and you can get a meal deal. Like there's a set meal, isn't there? So that's what I was wondering, because like there's a meal deal seems like a really obvious fucking explained thing.
Maybe that actually that's not a bad idea. That never even occurred to me that I could, change up my order. They're like 12 quid, like that.
Some of them, yeah, can be.
I might even look into
I don't know
that, actually, to see what my Chinese restaurant does. Because if it's at the moment, I'm spending like 30 quid a week on Chinese food.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
Which is only nice now because I can do it, but that's 120 quid a month. I could
do that.
Put into better use. What?
I could do 30 quid a week.
Why the fuck
Chinese
don't you?
Because Henry doesn't like Chinese food.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
Did you drop him
He's
as a
not,
child?
He's not a fan of it, probably, but everyone does, and they just lie about it. It's easy to drop them. Sometimes they wriggle. But no.
What are you saving your money towards? You have a goal in mind?
It's not necessarily that I'm saving it deliberately. It's I'm like I've started. Let's say I've started. I'm trying to pay off the credit card.
No, I'm going to ask you still have debt.
Worked out how. Yeah, of course I've still got debt. I'm still paying off the loan as well.
How much debt do you have?
Let me have a look. I can tell you exactly how much debt I've got. I haven't got the calculator here, so I can't sum it like that. At the moment, I'm just going to type some numbers, so bear with.
Okay, I'm having a drink. Bear with.
I, at this exact moment in time, owe £5,254.79 to my bank, and 3.5k of that is the loan that I'm paying off, and the rest of it is the credit card that I am simultaneously paying off and using. So like I'm making progress on it, but I'm not making as much as I want to make. But this month's been quite an expensive month. So like I've paid a load off on it, but I've also had the gas bill, and I've had not the water bill. I'm expecting that still actually. But it's post Christmas. I've had to fill the car up a few times, because it's cold. So it's
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not looking forward to having a load of debt, but I'm planning on going to Japan next year, at the earliest.
I spend about 110, 120 quid a week just on moving money to my savings account, which I then use to pay things like the gas bill. So like I've got big expenses going out. Some of it's getting saved, some of it isn't.
I mean, as I was saying, I'll be putting that on a credit card. It's actually it's more affordable than you might think.
Yeah, I believe it.
And because I looked into it, and
I think most of the cost is getting there.
Yeah, like direct flight. From what I've seen, it's like 600 quid from when I want to go, which isn't too bad. And I can get. You'd be surprised how cheap places are to stay over there. Like I can get 2 weeks somewhere for like 500 quid.
Yeah, I believe it.
If I get a 500 quid Japanese rail pass, which is like a must. Yeah, and then that's what, like 1,600. Thereabouts, probably closer to 1,800.
And then you've got to sort out your food.
Maybe I get a place that does breakfast. Maybe I don't, but 7-Eleven is really cheap over there. In fact, from what I've seen, a lot of the food seems really cheap over there. I could just go to 7-Eleven and get lunch and eat it in my hotel room, and then piss about in Tokyo all day.
Yeah, but if you're going there, if you're going abroad, you kind of want to eat in restaurants.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'll be going to restaurants and eating street food, I hope, and I do want to see Mount Fuji, and I want to get a Hiroshima as well. I did briefly entertain the possibility of climbing Mount Fuji. I thought
Okay.
maybe I'll do that. That'll be a once in a lifetime thing. How hard can it be? And then I YouTubed it and saw a load of people going video titles saying I almost died climbing Mount Fuji. And I looked into it and it's like this takes 2 days to do. There's rest stops all over the place. Only do it if you're a fairly advanced mountain climber. And I thought I get out of breath climbing the stairs. This is probably not
Yeah,
for
me too
me.
sometimes.
But it would be pretty cool to have conquered Mount Fuji. But I can look at it and it'll be pretty. So yeah, I reckon we're looking at like 2,500. Um, with food and gifts. Well, I say gifts, presents for me. And
You're not even going to get me a fridge magnet.
I didn't get you one for the Maldives. You never mentioned
Yeah, I
it.
didn't want one for the Maldives.
But you didn't want.
I'm mentioning it now.
Would you like me to buy you some hentai? Is that what this is leading to?
I'm not really into it.
Okay, fine. I'll get you some filthy fucking magazine. Jesus.
No, just like when I went to Hamburg. They're in the bedside drawer as well,
yeah,
actually.
those Europeans.
The German mucky mags.
Those continentals.
Those German mucky mags that I picked up, and I accidentally bought 6 instead of 3 because I misunderstood the price.
Fucking pig. Fucking pig.
Oh my god, they've killed you.
They pulled a fucking Robert Baratheon on me. Now if you die,
I was strong then.
there's no real penalty. You just get beamed back to the nearest rest stop that you flagged, which actually seems like it was pretty far away from where I. Yep, this is the starting point. So I was there.
Well, I mean, it has been both productive and not that productive, and you've been at it for about an hour 10.
Well, let's keep going.
No, I'm just saying, that's how long you've been at it, so
Alright.
you wouldn't want to walk all that again.
Well, no, I didn't know whether you were suggesting. I mean, you only did like 40 minutes, so I'm not bored of this yet.
I'm not signing up for a 2-hour version of this.
Okay, well, I'll plod on for a while.
I'll be getting antsy around an hour and a half.
Are you getting tired already?
I've had a long week. I've got a long day tomorrow. I've got a shitty day tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, just chill out, man.
Oh, I plan on chilling out, but I've got to be vaguely socially okay whilst we're doing this. I can't talk too much shit in case HR ends up looking at these.
Hello, HR.
HR's I got time.
Is that a tree stump or a thing? I think that's a tree stump.
It is a tree stump.
Definitely a tree stump. Okay.
Shoot it anyway. What you got to lose? How do you get more ammo? Do you have to pay for it?
I have to buy it. I am running a little low. I've got
You are, aren't you?
almost 30k. I didn't even notice that. Okay. That'll keep me in ammo for a bit.
I've been playing Cyberpunk recently as part of my unwinding.
Have you indeed?
Yeah, I've been doing quite well on that, but I'm good at it, and I've already played it before, so I sort of know what I'm doing. You can. It amazes me how well they've put Keanu Reeves into the game.
He's a bad actor.
Oh, yeah, he does the job.
It's not his fault.
There's this bit in it where you can let his character sort of take over your body for a while. I don't know how much you know about Cyberpunk.
Genitals.
There is genitals in it, yes.
I know it wasn't popular. I think we talked about this last week. Basically, everything I said last week, it was bugged and criticised. And
well, the general gist is that you are a future sort of criminal that does like thieving and hacking and stuff like that. One of the jobs you do is actually you rescue a wealthy kidnap victim from a bunch of traffickers.
Yeah.
But they traffic organs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like cyber augmentations and crap like that. But yeah, you just take on jobs, and sometimes you're a criminal, sometimes you're a good guy, and you're just making an honest living, or as honest a living as possible in a shitty world that's filled with crime and criminals and bastards. Sometimes sanctioned by capitalist agendas. So, not that far from the truth.
Do it, innit?
and on one of these jobs, you steal something from the son of the emperor. Whilst you are there, the emperor turns up and is killed by the son.
Okay, who plays
You
the
witness
emperor?
it happen. I don't know, just some bloke.
Just some old guy.
It's not anyone specific, as far as I can tell. Like if you see him on the screen for such a short period of time, it would seem ridiculous for them to motion capture an actual actor for it. So I don't think they did that. Whereas Keanu Reeves plays a major role in the entire story. So the thing you end up stealing, it turns out that it's like a memory stick that you can plug into your brain, and it has got Keanu Reeves' character's personality on it. And so you start seeing him, hallucinating him, and talking to him and sort of stuff because he's trying to take over your body so that he can carry on living.
Who is he?
He's a bloke that was a terrorist 50 years ago. Literally set off a nuke inside a skyscraper.
Right.
Everyone thought he'd died. He had died, but the company whose skyscraper it was had sort of trapped his psyche inside this data pen. And now he's trying to take over. So there is a point when you can let him just have control for a few days so he can sort some shit out. And whilst he's on that, it's quite a bit of a bender that he's on. Someone offers you 2 pills, a red pill or a blue pill.
All right.
And it's like just a silly little reference.
What a cunning reference.
You know, silly little things like that.
It's a nice little place, isn't it? It's a little rundown, but it's rustic. No,
I do enjoy Cyberpunk, and if you had the inclination to play an RPG, you could do a lot worse. Just for you or anyone else who's going to take that into account. Oh, it's a bit early for my liking.
We want to make the most of the sunlight. It's like how George the Fifth had all the clocks in Sandringham put back an hour, so that there'd be more light in the day for shooting. You know, so you woke up at close to sunrise.
Surely I'd have to put it forward an hour.
These things confuse me.
If you put it forward an hour.
Yeah.
To wake up earlier compared to everyone else, you'd have to put it forward an hour.
Okay.
I think.
Well, I only know about it was in a documentary about the abdication. Apparently, one of the first things Edward VIII did when he came to the throne, when his father died, was like, okay, let's fix those fucking clocks. And the Archbishop of Canterbury was a chap called Cosmo Lang.
Cool name.
Yes, it is. Remarked in his diary that I wonder what other old traditions will be put aside. Like it was this big symbolic thing, and all it was is I'm fed up of this is stupid. I don't like shooting as much as my insane father did. I want to wake up at the normal time so I can get pissed.
You mentioned royalty. Obviously, recently 2 royals have been in hospital.
Yes.
Yes.
Prince Charles, King Charles. Sorry, still getting used to it. And Kate Winslet Middleton, who is having a heart put in.
Yes.
And the king is having his removed.
And all in a completely unrelated ceremony. Yes.
Yeah. It's not the same heart.
No.
That would be weird, and would probably lead to controversial side effects.
And all the jokes about how he's inside her.
She's inside him, surely.
No, she's having a heart put in.
Oh yes, quite right. Sorry, I forgot my own premise.
You did, honestly. Although to be fair, it is her husband that we have apparently been told likes begging. So
yes, allegedly.
She may well have been inside a royal.
Do you buy those rumours? Because I do.
I don't see the stigma behind it, so I don't see why it's a big deal.
But I think statistically, it's like
there's nothing wrong with a bit of begging.
It's like a rumour that a member of the royal family is gay. You know.
Yeah. So what?
Gay people exist.
Yeah.
You know, it's statistically
Is it Anne?
No, I think there were rumours about Charles being bisexual and like fucking his servants,
Good on him.
which
Well, the bisexual bit, no, even not the servant fucking, because the whole power dynamic there suggests makes it a bit difficult for consent to be properly
yeah, you
given.
sort of can't get a more jarring power dynamic than that, can you?
No, not
The
really.
future king of England at that point, and the guy who puts the toothpaste on his toothbrush.
Is
Yeah.
that a euphemism or?
No, that was genuinely a thing.
Oh, okay.
I think it was when he'd broken his arm, so someone had to do it
Oh,
for him.
I suppose that in that circumstance, it makes sense for someone to do that jobs like that for you.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. It's like Tampon Gate. It was referenced as like, got how out of touch of the royal family. But it's like, I kind of.
I can understand why, if you've broken your arm, you might have difficulty doing that sort of a job.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they were brushing the teeth for them as well, right?
No.
It's not like they were shaking after having a wee, right?
No.
Because
No.
one shake, that's fine. Two shakes, that's okay. But three shakes, you're just playing with yourself, as the song goes.
I've not heard.
Have you not heard that song?
What, Jerusalem?
No, not Jerusalem. I can't. It's a pop punk song. We're gonna find the. I know it. I quite like the song. One shape, that's fine. The Anthem by Good Charlotte.
All right. Well.
It's a new day, but it feels. No, hang on. And my high school felt more to me like a jail cell, a penitentiary.
Mm.
In my time spent there, it only made me see that I don't ever want to be like you. I don't want to do the things you do. I'm never going to hear the words you say, and I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to be you. Don't ever want to be just like you.
Right.
But yeah, there was a bit in it where it says, "Shake it once, that's fine. Shake it twice, that's okay. Shake it three times, you're playing with yourself again."
Mm. Well, profound words.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, some pop punk is surprisingly profound. Green Day's American Idiot album has got some quite profound lyrics on it.
Yes, and
I read the graffiti on the bathroom stalls, like the holy scripture of a shopping mall, something like that. It's just something about that. Just sort
do you like that Hozier or Hosier?
no, not my
Hosier.
Although to be fair, I do like Take Me to Church.
Everybody likes Take Me to Church.
I'm pretty sure it's about eating out a woman. So
No, it's not. What the fuck? It's like a Rorschach test, isn't it? You're just depraved.
Take me to church. I'll worship it like a dog at the shrine of your life. I think it is. It's the lyric.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's.
I'm pretty sure it's about eating a woman.
It's not about that. It's about.
Oh, shall we Google what it's about?
It's about religion.
No, it's not about religion.
It is about religion.
Take me to church. I'm gonna put it up on Wikipedia. I'm not gonna.
It's about a relationship and.
Take me to church.
Yeah, I mean he's Irish. Of course, it's about how shitty the church is. No, organised religion and
I didn't realise it was Irish.
comparing it to a messy relationship. I guess I don't know. I'm not good at analysing songs. It's a real fucking weak spot for me.
Let me find the.
I think maybe it's just because they're singing the words. If it was written down, I'd probably have a better shot.
The song contains sexual undertones.
Yeah.
Hozier elaborated that an act of sex is one of the most human things, but an organisation like the church, say, through its doctrine, would undermine humanity by successfully teaching shame about sexual orientation. The song is about asserting yourself and reclaiming your humanity through an act of love.
Okay, that's not what I got.
No, but that's from the artist.
So what? Death of the artist, bitch.
Supposedly, the video, shot in black and white, follows a romantic relationship between two men and the violent homophobic attack that followed.
Oh. There's rather a lot of shit on the other side of that river. there is. I mean, Jesus, look at that! It's a fucking zoo. Hmm. I sort of got the relationship element of it,
Oh,
but I thought it was. I mean, the first I got with like analyzing it was okay. It's like a toxic relationship, and comparing that to the relationship with the church. Uh,
the line that I quoted, I've misquoted it. It's not a big difference, but it is. No, it's notable that it does probably suggest that actually it's not about eating a woman out now. I'm willing to accept that. I thought it was the line is actually take me to church. I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies.
there you go.
Whereas I thought it was life, and obviously the whole reproductive area
Yes.
is quite a. But no,
No.
the reason I thought it was life, I think, is justified, is because the next line is I'll tell you my sins so you can sharpen your knife.
Yeah.
And obviously, typically these things often rhyme, but it
Well,
doesn't rhyme with that
yeah.
line.
I mean,
It rhymes with a line 2 lines after it that is, "Good God, let me give you my life."
well, that was sort of where. I mean, to me, my initial thought when I heard that line was, okay, it's a confessional thing, and the reference to sharpening your knife is like, um, you've confessed your sins, and now I can use that again. I can guilt trip you and bring you closer into the fold.
Mm.
You know. Should I have gone the other way? I don't know.
Oh, obviously, that Divinal song is about touching yourself.
I like that lady of a certain age. That was a really good shout. You sharing that with me, thinking I would like it.
Yeah, please.
I do
It seems
like it.
like it might be up your street.
I
I
like
don't recommend many songs to you because I know
no,
you're not really a music
not
person.
really.
But
No, I like the double meaning of the title as well. Um,
yes,
because it's a woman of a certain age, i.e., an older woman, but also a woman of a certain age, i.e., a certain period of history, and that
mm.
that sort of 50s, 60s, 70s, where the aristocracy was sort of, mm, gutted by inheritance tax, and suddenly all these buildings are far too expensive than to possibly operate, and only really the top bunch of people are surviving, and the aristocracy sort of dies off, and you get wealthy, well, not even wealthy, largely impoverished widows living in like dingy flats in Kensington.
Yeah. The Divine Comedy have done some fantastic songs,
Mm.
and that is definitely one of them. I quite like the Best Mistakes, which is the more recent one.
Mm.
Of course, it was my review of the Best Mistakes, I think, that got us the Barbara piece.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
That's why they got in touch, I think, just because of that one. Because they'd worked with Divine Comedy previously.
All right. Oh, I wonder if they mentioned it to him.
I doubt it, but
No, I don't.
still. I think someone shared it. I think the official Divine Comedy page shared it or liked it or something.
One
But
dead
it's
kitty
not.
cat.
It's probably a like rather than a share. And I made a big deal about it at the time because it was back when I give a shit. I don't really give a shit anymore. That's the point. I've not scheduled anything for tomorrow yet. I should probably do that. Thank
These
God I've got
weren't
a few in
great
the bag.
shots.
Shot in my leg.
Yeah,
You're to blame.
bone counts for something, but even so. Hmm.
No, I am. What have I been listening to lately?
Oh.
I don't even know.
Oh. Pronghorn Leghorn.
I say, boy.
So, um, yeah, I did show you the locations in this game. We're going to go a fair old ways. I think This next one might be New England or Mississippi. We can bag us a gator. And various other stuff.
Oh, crikey. Can we call it Amos?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Amos Moses was a Cajun. He lived by himself in a swamp. Yeah, I know how to get it for a living. Oh, there's a song by Jerry Reed called "She Got the Gold Mine, I Got the Shaft."
Well,
which I quite like. Which, if you've not heard, I recommend you listen to because it's amusing. Not necessarily because you're going to enjoy it.
I whacked it.
It's amusing to listen to.
You bastard! You fucking prick!
As you can probably guess, the gist of it is that there has been a breakup.
Yeah, and she got everything, and he got fucked over.
Yeah,
bloody women.
Yeah, that is the general gist.
Bloody pun.
But I think it's.
Thank you for not running. When I fired like 50 bullets at your friends, I got it in the spine.
Right in the neck. Jesus.
In the spine. I was aiming for the head.
You fucking missed. Piss poor shot you.
Well, I was sort of aiming for the head. I don't know what I was aiming.
I mean, to be fair, the spine is a smaller target than there.
Yeah. Well, that's about where I was aiming for. I mean, I shot it. The last time I shot it, it was fucking dying.
Yeah, it was pretty much dead away.
Even his last legs.
It's only got 4.
Yeah. Well, I think we've gone far enough with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen a bit of Mexico. I mean, what have we shot recently? I feel like we shot a lot. And it started off and it was pretty slow, and I didn't think we'd get a lot. So let's have a look.
Most of that stuff. From the Mexican bobcat, about 6 from the bottom. That one that's the earliest.
That's probably is. Yeah. Gosh, look at that. That's probably the most I've shot in an episode.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll. I don't think I showed you my lines, didn't I? You've already seen those.
Yeah, you showed me them.
Well, in that case, we'll return here and then got a nice enough time in Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
So yes.
Can you just zoom in on the map of that flag for me? Okay, thank you.
It's not the flag of Mexico. It's the flag of like the reserve.
Yeah.
It's,
I just wanted to get a better look at it.
Yeah.
That's how you know I'm paying attention to your videos.
It is a nice.
I don't wait 5 minutes before saying, "Oh, you've stopped moving."
It's a nice enough house. I think they've just moved in. I'm like a guest here.
I need to tidy up a bit. Well then.
Well, yes. Anyway, we used to have those. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. I've had a lovely time, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, probably if you turn up again.
Bye.
Bye.